The Roman Empire fell into the hands of the migrating peoples not because of their strength and bravery, but due to the weakness of the legions and the moral decay of the Roman world. The greed of the rich, the very heavy taxes, and the various social injustices caused the vast majority of the empire's inhabitants to live in poverty and misery, which forced many Roman citizens to join the ranks of the rebellious peasants, called Bacaude, or to flee to the enemy, where exploitation and oppression were more bearable than in the empire. The Germanic peoples, pushed from behind by the Huns coming from northern China, invaded the Roman Empire and could no longer be driven back across its borders as in previous times. The Visigoths, led by Alaric, ravaged Rome 3 times between 408 and 410, and in 419 settled in the southwest of Gaul, forming the first barbarian kingdom within the Roman Empire. The Vandals entered Gaul, crossed into Hispania, where they stayed for a while, and from there moved to North Africa, where they established their own kingdom on Roman territory under Genseric, who later landed with his hordes in Italy, brutally plundering Rome in 455. The Huns also devastated parts of the Roman Empire as far as Gaul, where they were defeated by General Aetius and came close to Rome, which they spared. After the death of Attila in 453, they settled in Pannonia. The Roman emperors were forced to surrender province after province to the barbarians, when, in 476, the last Roman emperor, the young Romulus Augustus, was deposed and replaced by Odoacer, the leader of a Germanic confederation. Killings, looting, and destruction left behind sorrow, deprivation, and poverty. And in the conquered territories, they also brought dissatisfaction, humiliation, and enslavement. Christians and pagans blamed each other for this state of affairs. When we offered sacrifices to the gods, Rome was strong, they would say. Now when sacrifices are forbidden to us, look at what Rome has become, the pagans would say, mostly in whispers, since paganism had been officially abolished by law at the end of the 4th century. On the other hand, the Christians accused the pagans of disobeying the laws and continuing to practice their old cults. Many Christians even complained against providence. If there is justice in the heavens, they said, how can it allow such injustices to happen on earth? Why are evildoers powerful while Christians are weak? Why do the barbarians triumph while the Romans are defeated? In response to these prevailing attitudes, Salvianus, a Christian priest, theologian, and writer from Roman Gaul, took a different and entirely original stance compared to his contemporaries and predecessors. He considered the pagans less guilty because they sinned without knowing the Christian religion, just like the barbarians who had embraced Christianity in its Arian form, since they too were heretics unknowingly. According to Salvianus, the ones most to blame for the misfortunes of the time were the Christians. They had forgotten the teachings of Christ and the apostles, the persecutions, and the martyrs of the early centuries, and were indulging in the most abominable vices. All or nearly all were violating in various ways the teachings of love for one's neighbor, of a simple and pure life, of forgiveness, and of universal brotherhood. The barbarians, despite their cruelty, were in contrast virtuous, generally lived by a strict moral code, and this gave them strength in battle. The Romans were therefore defeated not because of divine indifference, but because of their own sins, which made them weaker than the barbarians. The Roman state is, in the end, suffering what it has long deserved. No one should look for other causes. no one should believe the evil came from elsewhere. Only our own vices have defeated us.